Happy Pride Month and Diablo 4 launch week. What up, viewers? What up? What up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, June 2nd, and that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Like I said in the cold open, Diablo 4 is here. It officially launches on the 6th, but anybody who pre-ordered or bought the Ultimate Edition has been able to play it, and I played it for several hours yesterday when I could get my hands on it. Diablo 4 is currently at an 87 Metacritic, so off to a pretty good start. Hopefully Blizzard doesn't screw it up like they have a couple of their other recent IP releases. And yeah, the game has a lot of depth. I'm already starting to see tons of guides on how to make different character builds, and it definitely feels very complicated when you're looking at how to build up your character. Right now, I'm just collecting gold and XP, and so I'll have a link down below to some guides on what the best ways to do those are. But yeah, there's a lot of depth. There's a lot of really good drop in, drop out. One minor frustration has just been the host of any multiplayer game is the one whose story you will be following. So if you're at different points in the story, you might lose track of that and have to redo content, which happened to me last night. But otherwise, Diablo, I think, is off to a great start, and I'm very much looking forward to playing some more right after I get done here. Moving right along, a game that actually released this week, Street Fighter 6 launched today, and just for funsies, I went back just to see when the original Street Fighter came out in 1987. So Street Fighter is an IP nearly 4 decades old, which was hard to say and believe. But the game is getting phenomenally reviewed. It is a 92 Metacritic. A lot of really good things being said about it. I think a lot of this is being due to the fact that you get to create your own fighter, something that fighting games haven't really done in the past, is give you control over a character and then have that character kind of progress and interact with the known and beloved characters. So lots of really good things being said about Street Fighter 6. So definitely going to keep my eyes on it. Anything usually above a 90 is the way I read it on Metacritic is just if it's above a 90, then you'll probably like it regardless of what genres you typically play, which I've definitely expanded my horizons and played some games that were 90 plus. Just because they were really good. And so Street Fighter, which I wouldn't normally play fighting games. Actually, I prefer Mortal Kombat to Street Fighter. But I might actually pick this one up in the not too distant future. Moving right along, not E3 season is continuing. We had a Warhammer thing last week and some Nintendo stuff. Now we have a meta showcase or a Facebook showcase talking about VR games this week. It was a pretty long showcase, about 75 minutes. So I only skimmed through and looked at a couple of the games that I was interested in. One of which was a Stranger Things game, where you get to play as Vecna and take control over people's minds, and doing that in VR should be pretty trippy to do. So looking forward to that. Also, anything that says Vampire the Masquerade is definitely something I'm interested in. So I saw a Vampire the Masquerade game that wasn't Bloodlines 2, which I'm highly anticipating. But there was a Vampire the Masquerade game. You play a little bit more of a stealth action RPG kind of game. So looking forward to seeing how that pans out. And then they announced the third quest. So they've had 2 iterations of the quest previously. They've announced a third one that will be $500. This is the no strings attached headset, which is kind of what shot them into fame with the Meta Quest before. So yeah, I think that's all really cool, and I think I still haven't bought into a VR. I haven't bought a VR headset, but I'm very interested in it, and all games coming out are all very very good. Although I might still slightly prefer the PSVR 2, but I gotta get my hands on one VR headset sometime soon. Moving right along, Nintendo isn't basking in their glory of Tears of the Kingdom. They announced another highly anticipated sequel this week. Everybody 1-2 Switch. That's right. The original 1-2 Switch wasn't enough, so they announced another mini game game that you can play on your Switch. With a bunch of friends. So I know that me and my friends had a ton of fun playing 1-2 Switch. A lot of mini games. I would much prefer a WarioWare kind of game, but Curious to see what they do with Everybody 1-2 Switch. Speaking of not E3, it's really kicking into full gear next week with Summer Games Fest. So I put together a schedule, or at least I read up on the schedule of what's coming out next week. So on the 8th, so a week from Thursday, or next Thursday, Summer Game Fest, Jeff Keighley is kicking everything off, followed by Day of the Devs and Devolver. Always enjoy watching the Devolver showcases, mostly for the entertainment value and sometimes less so for the games, although sometimes they put out really good Cult of the Lamb-like games that I am interested in. And then next Saturday is the Wholesome Direct, as well as the Future Game Show. So looking forward to both of those. Probably more towards the Wholesome Direct than I am the Future Game Show, but is what it is. And then starting on Sunday, the 11th, there's both an Xbox showcase as well as a Starfield showcase, which I thought was kind of weird that those are separate, but I know that they're kind of doing Xbox and Bethesda separately. And then there's also the PC Game Show. So that's all happening next Sunday. Next Monday is the Ubisoft Forward, which I'm kind of interested in since they just did Assassin's Creed Mirage was in the PlayStation Showcase, but I assume we'll get a little bit more about what's going on in the latest Assassin's Creed game next Monday in the Ubisoft Forward. Also, it's been a really long time since we've seen an Ubisoft Forward. Last time, I think they just announced 4 different Assassin's Creed games, so it'll be interesting to see what they do that. Also, what's happening with the Splinter Cell. Anyway, we can all speculate about that next week. And then last but not least, on the 16th, Sega's doing a big showcase and kind of wrapping it up for Summer Games Fest, or not E3 as I've been calling it. So let me know what you're most excited for, either which showcase or which game you're looking forward to hearing about during next week's Summer Games Fest. Moving right along, the League of Legends has gotten a Riot, and League of Legends have gotten themselves into a bit of a pickle here. The League of Legends Players Association is going on strike. Recent changes to who will be in the competitive league for League of Legends, namely the North America Competitors League, has been cut. Usually, and this is all from what I've read from a couple of articles, so if I got anything wrong, feel free to tell me down below, but it sounds like the Riot recently made a change that they won't need the national, the North America Competitives League, and they cut them. So the pool of competitive leagues has gone from 16 teams down to 10, and that upset the Players Association, and they are now going on strike. So I think it seems like, it wasn't made lightly. I am very curious to see kind of what happens if League of Legends just cancels and Riot just cancels this year's season while they try and work out all these differences. But yeah, I'm very curious. League of Legends, notably, usually the biggest, the most lucrative kind of esport scene out there. So if that doesn't happen, I assume that's a lot of revenue lost. So hopefully they can get that resolved and not lose out on any of that money. CD Projekt Red, not even the biggest piece of news this week was they were dodging rumors of a Sony acquisition. I read a couple articles talking about like, oh, CDPR is going to get bought by Sony, which, could potentially hold water if you think about it. But the president and CEO of CDPR batted that away and said CDPR is not for sale. But they did also announce this week that Witcher 3 has crossed a pretty significant milestone, selling 50 million units, which is really big, puts it in the upper echelons of some of the biggest games, top probably 20 or so of all time, with the 50 million, hitting that 50 million mark. So very curious, or very cool to see that. My follow-up question was just how many people played Blood and Wine as well, which I assume is just 49 million, because it was a great addition to Witcher 3, and you should play Blood and Wine if you haven't already. In celebration of Pride Month, which is all of June, Tell Me Why, the Xbox exclusive game, is going free, as they have done for the previous years. I have played Tell Me Why. I played through it and enjoyed it very much, so I think you should pick it up too. And it's a really cool kind of Telltale-like story about a brother and sister's relationship. So definitely pick that up, and it's definitely worth playing. So I can't recommend it enough. Another game that's several decades in the making has come out. There's been a System Shock remake that's been on the books for quite some time. It finally launched this week. For funsies, I looked up System Shock. Originally released in 1994, so think back to when I was a 4-year-old. Yeah, nearly 3 decades in the making. It has launched this week. It is at a 76 Metacritic, and yeah, people are enjoying the kind of up-resed visuals and enjoying it for what it is, but it might not have made too much of a too many big differences to maybe be worth playing for people who are already intimately familiar with the previous iterations of System Shock. Moving right along, I am always a big fan of all of these Steam World games, and I think they're kind of they usually make a dent and make a pretty significant impact on whatever genre they choose to make the next Steam World game. And the next one is a city builder, which you know that I've been looking for a really good city builder to play and love all the Steam World games, so very much looking forward to this one. Got to see a little bit more of what you'll be actually managing in Steam World Build. You'll be both managing the city above and all the income associated with that, but you'll also have to be managing like the dungeons below, which based on the article I was reading gave people kind of a dungeon keeper kind of vibe, where you're gonna have to like manage what's going on down below your city as you're fighting off waves of minions and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very interested to see kind of the duality of managing both the city above and enemies below. So very much looking forward to that. Just wanted to give a quick shout out that the Lord of the Rings Magic set had a big preview this week, showed off like 100 cards or something like that. So I'm always excited to talk about the Lord of the Rings, especially as they come to Magic, a game I've been playing forever. And so if anybody wants to talk either in my Discord or in the comments down below about the Lord of the Rings Magic set that I am very excited for, feel free to do that. That's quite a lot for this week, but if you feel I forgot anything, feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy this content. If you do, please follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. I'll have links down below in the description. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend. And I hope you have a super day. Bye!